Hello, I'm back from a sail trip and realized that on the internet there is a big drama at the moment against Gibson, against one of the last Gibson videos. Mark Agnesi, he made a 3-minute video, and now there are a lot of self-proclaimed experts about copyright, about law, about Gibson, even if they don't own a Gibson guitar. And it's a bit overheated at the moment, so we should take a step back and go through the facts, and then you can make your own decision. And then at the end, please leave a message. What's your experience with Gibson, whatever. So let's start. Some mentioned that Mark Agnesi, Gibson, threatened their customers. And I went through the video 3 times. It's simply not true. Mark Agnesi only mentioned that when you have a copy and you have a TV or internet, you go on the internet, it's not enough when you tape it, they will owe you. And that's their right. I mean, we need copyright in the Western world. Imagine Harley Davidson, a Chinese company would, or a nation company would start to make exact copies of Harley Davidson and would sell them for $2,200, whatever. And then that would be horrible for Harley Davidson, you know, the same letters, the same shape, the same colors, whatever. And Coca-Cola, imagine a Chinese company would make a soft drink, the same formula, same color, same bottle, white letters on a red ground, and instead of Coca-Cola, maybe Cola Coke, whatever. And they would sell the bottle for 15 cents. And so it's essential for our economy that we have copyrights. And Gibson has around 270, 280 copyrights, trademark. The shape is copyright of all their guitars, the brand name, and that's really important. And now they want to protect their name. And so I don't see what's the problem now if on the internet there is this big drama now about Gibson want to protect their property, you know. And also a shape, it can be a formula, it can be a name, whatever. You can copyright nearly everything, and that's the right of the owner to protect his property. And some of the YouTubers, they mentioned that Gibson is stuck in their past. And they said what they did in the last 20, 25 years. I'm asking myself if Gibson Les Paul is such a bad old stuff guitar. Why is it copied by so many also well-renowned companies? That's a point. On the other hand, Gibson invented the truss rod. Every good company in the world put a truss rod in their electric guitars. Gibson invented the tune-o-matic. Gibson invented the binding. In the last few years, they invented the adjustable nut. The G4 self-tuning. And now the same people say, oh, nobody wanted the self-tuning. Yeah, but they tried it, you know, that's the point. They tried, but people wanted this vintage, traditional 50s Les Paul, but they made the weight relief, adjustable nut, apex neck, that's more stable than the classical 50s neck, you know. And they invented the humbucker, the split coil, and the Les Plus, a thinner Les Paul body shape. They did a lot of stuff over the years, even a computerized Gibson. They tried a lot, but the customers, they wanted this vintage 50s style Gibson because it's the holy grail of guitars. It's always this question about quality. And I believe that a lot of the people mention the bad quality of Gibson. They don't own Gibson or they don't play regularly Gibson guitars. Because Gibson guitars are expensive. That's what's mentioned. I go on that point later. But they say, it's amazing for a $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 guitar, how bad the quality is. And that's not true. Gibson guitars are some of the finest guitars in the world. Gibson guitars in the Ted McCarthy area, between the electric guitars between 52 and 68, they were of high quality, great guitars. Then Gibson was bought by Stephen Norton and Maurice Berlin, and so they founded Norlin, from Norton and Berlin, Berlin, Lean, Norlin. And Norlin, I mean, it's never good when a Brazilian brewery buys old name, American-made guitar company. So what they wanted to make the most of money they could. So they hired the younger staff, unexperienced people. They lowered the quality of the wood, and they lowered the quality of the specs. So the reputation of Gibson was really sliding down. And at the end, when Norlin sold the company to Juskowitz and Berryman in '85, they had a staff of 70 employees. So bad was the reputation of Gibson that nobody bought Gibson anymore. And Juskowitz restarted from scratch and brought back the Gibson name and the quality. So easy to speak after some other guys say, oh, bad quality, bad quality, bad quality. Wow, it's bad quality. That's nonsense. It's not true. I bought my first Gibson in 1972. It was a Gibson Les Paul 58 Sunburst. And I own some 60s Gibson and 70s Gibson, and at the moment I sold also guitars over the years, but at the moment I own 128 Gibson guitars and 45 Epiphones. And none of them has a neck break, none of them is bad quality, they're all sounds great, perfect instruments. So after 40 years playing Gibson guitars and owning nearly all, from the lowest, cheapest Gibson Epiphone up to the high-end custom-made, made-to-measure customs, I can say Gibson guitars are absolutely top high-end products. So there is no worries, no discussion about bad quality, blah, 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 blah. Gibson guitars are of high-end, top guitars, and they are the benchmark in guitar manufacturing, and they are the benchmark where all the others have to be measured. There are two lines, the Fender line and the Gibson line, and Fender is top high-end quality. All the Fender lines, they have to be measured by Fender, and all the Gibson lines, they have to be measured by Gibson. They are the benchmark, whatever people say. Let's talk now about the price. Gibson guitars are too expensive. Is it true or not? You can buy a nation-made copy Les Paul for a few $100s. That's fine. Most guitars, they play fine, and with the modern amplifiers, it will sound great. You can use them, you know. But to buy a Gibson, if it's expensive or not, I can give you an answer. Gibson guitars are the cheapest guitar in the world. I explain you why. In 1959, a Gibson Les Paul Standard was priced $247.50, plus case $42. Today, a Gibson Les Paul 59 is between $300,000 and $500,000. In 1968, the Les Paul Standard was priced $359 plus $52 for the case. Today, a 68, 69 Gibson Les Paul in good condition is between $20,000 and $30,000. In 1979, a Gibson Les Paul was priced $400. Today, if you got a good one in good condition, it's around $3,500, $800, up to $4,000. In 1986, a Gibson Les Paul Standard was priced $860. If you got a 1986 Gibson that was priced $850, it will cost you today around $3,000. So when you buy a Gibson guitar, on the long run, it will make you money. You can sell it for a higher price than you paid. So in the long run, you play a Gibson guitar for free. On the long run, Gibson is not a spend, it's an investment. If you count that, then you realize if you keep your guitar for over 10 years, then it will make you some extra money. On the other hand, when you buy a Gibson at the moment, you will lose some money, that's for sure. And why you will lose? The guitar shop, tax, advertisement, shipping, that all takes maybe 40-45% away from the beginning price. You know, that's what you're losing when you buy a Gibson at the beginning. But then slightly it comes up, and after a few years the whole price will, when you sell after a few years, you will get the whole price back. And so this extra cost, the tax, the guitar shop, the shipping costs, that's the money you spend. This money is gone when you buy a new Gibson. But after 5-6 years, the value of the instrument goes up, so you will get the whole money back. But on the long run, after 10-15 years, you will make some extra money. And that's a big achievement of investing or buying Gibson guitars. And there are some rumors that Gibson didn't invent the Gibson Les Paul, that some guys, they had that shape long before Gibson. And the earliest proof of a Gibson Les Paul shaped solid body electric guitar was Hedley Jones in 1940. And a year later, Appleton made also a kind of Les Paul guitar. But Hedley Jones is the first proof because he had an interview and a photo with the guitar in a newspaper. And so that's the oldest proof, 1940. But Hedley Jones said himself he copied because he couldn't afford to buy a Gibson. So he took a log or a timber and cut it out, a Gibson copy. And he said he was inspired by Charlie Christian, one of the first solo string player who played his semi-acoustic L150 Gibson. And so Hedley Jones copied a Gibson, and Appleton, it's the same. They really copied some Gibson models, like or the Cutaway, the L5 Gibson. So the Gibson Les Paul is based on the Gibson designs, and they were some small guitar or luthier or guitar enthusiasts. They tried to make a Gibson copy, and that's what now in the internet a bit around. But when you go carefully in and you check it out, all the proofs, then you see also all these 40s Gibson Les Paul designs were based on Gibson designs and Gibson copyrighted designs. Nearly all instruments that were made after 2010 are of a high quality, great guitars, innovative stuff. They made quite a lot of new stuff. Some worked, some didn't. That's the risk when you have a company. And on the long run, Gibson is an investment, and so on the long run, the Gibson will be one of the cheapest guitars you can buy because you can sell it for a higher price you paid. And it's true, at the beginning it's quite a healthy investment, but on the long run the money comes back. And the design is an in-house traditional Gibson design, and that Gibson tried to protect their copyrights, trademarks, whatever. It's their right, and I wouldn't expect any else from Coca-Cola, from Harley-Davidson, Mercedes-Benz, Ferrari, whatever. If you do a product or Rolex watches, you know, Swiss watches are so many copied, and I understand that these companies, they have to sue those companies that, and I understand that those companies try to protect themselves because they are wages, employees, a lot of stuff behind such a company. And if they wouldn't have any protection, then they could just produce in the cheapest country in the world, somewhere in Asia or Africa, wherever. So understand Gibson, and it's no reason to bash on a new CEO because he's a cool guy, long hair, leather jacket, and then now he sues other companies. Why not? Why should someone, if he's a relaxed, cool guy, why he should accept that someone steals their property, you know? Because a copyright is a property. And if someone lives for free in your house, you would defend yourself, and that's what Gibson does. And so make your own decision, think about that. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you soon in my next video.